Check, check, check. Hello. How's it going? Let's see here. Get off studio mode here, testing out some stuff. Let's get our panel layout going. Well, it doesn't see Talishar? There it goes. How's it going? Hi, Miko. She's making noises too. Trying to make sure this window's good. We're gonna be jamming some Puffin today. More Puffin, but a new list. This is extremely, extremely close to the list that was posted on the official Blood TCG website. Let's see here. Slightly cut off. But you can see here, got Unicycle, Pummels, nothing too fancy. I'm gonna have to mute for a second while she takes that. All right. We can chit chat now. Can take this muted for call off the screen. This game's going really good so far. Looks like he's searching from Katsu. Kind of curious what you even grab here. Cute. I forgot that I even had that on my screen, or on my like emotes. Break Tide. How did he banish Retrace? Yo. Lauren wants me to pack redeem. 4, and then +3 dominate, banish the top card of your deck until the next turn. I think we just take this, right? This isn't threatening enough. Let's see, dominate, go again, combo, active on hit. So this is 5 on hit, banish the top card. I think that's fine. 100 wins is a pretty good one. So I think we're going in on the poly here. And we're going in on the copper cog. Let's get an extra card here. Okay. We're gonna pitch there. I do speak. Yeah, sorry. Was waiting for Lauren to get done with her call, and then now that she's done with her call, we get to hang out. You know, we get to actually talk with each other. Finally decided to spring for Codex of Frailty now that they've dropped. Not sure if you're a sucker. No, they're going so much lower than I expected them to. I think it's definitely like the right time. You were using what's his name's? Right, you're using Tim's. I forgot that I had this light as well. Turn on the light. Maybe you can maybe see me a little bit easier. Maybe I actually set up the stream correctly. Rainbow foil for 50 each? Man. That's crazy good. Let's see, I've already cranked twice. We'll tap, we won't crank this one. We don't really need the extra action point, because it's just be an extra 2 damage. I kind of am cool with just keeping the infuse. Oh man. I guess we're blocking with these guys, the reds, so that I can keep the yellow and throw 5 still. Yeah, $50 is really low. Yeah, you can kill Polly, that's fine. I go to 10. 100 wins is just 3. How many are we going into next turn with? We're going into next turn with 2. So this isn't as powerful. I mean, it's still really good. It's still 8. Maybe the infused titanium I don't play towards. Maybe I try and start on this, and then I can potentially throw CNC afterwards. His next card has to be like super threatening for me to care about this. 4, and it does have an active combo, just puts 100 wins back in. Yeah, I think I'm cool with that. I'm not dead, so that's the biggest thing here. So the question is, does he shove his whole hand in front of this? Which if he does, then that feels kind of bad. So maybe what I do is I overpitch so that I don't end up keeping like I do it like this. Because I can only pump this to 7 if I want to get the extra action. Because I need the extra cog. And this has a, yeah, -1 on it already. And we'll pump it to 7. Tap, I will crank. So we'll keep our action point. We'll Spring Tunic, and we'll send CNC. Because if he's left with another D-React... Oh no, he just scooped. Alright. Starting off 1-0 with the Pummel list. We started off that match, like, incredibly strong. Alright. We are pulling, let's see here, full camera. I need to flip this because it was set up for the other stream. Let's go there. Okay. And then flip horizontal. There we go. So we're opening 1 high seas. Lauren did a pack redeem, so we'll see. First pack, literal first pack of the box, so we'll see if we get anything good here. Got Restless Bones, Scouting Shot, Tough Old Wrench, Rigor Mortis, Entangling Shot. Does not want to focus. There we go. Come on. Blue Nimbleism. Trying to focus on something in the back. Thieving Varmints, Valley of the Coast Guard, Gold Hunter Marauder, Mutiny on the Swiftwater, Swift Strike Bracers, ooh. Jack Be Quick. Let's see. King Kraken Harpoon. I actually don't have a set of these, so that's pretty nice. Majestic on the first pack. Rainbow Foil Chart, of course, and then maybe... Oh, wow. First pack of this box. This case was insanely stacked. This came from a case that had 2 legendaries and a fabled in it. So this is the 3rd legendary from a single case. Man, that is insane. Also, the amount of viewers we have right now is insane. Thank you guys for coming in and hanging out with me while we're just jamming some games. This is my first Dead Threads as well, so that's going straight over into my pile to put together gravy. You hate me more now? To be fair, I was not the one that opened either of those legendaries or the Fabled. Yeah, thank you. She's sitting right behind me, checking everything out. But really good pulls. Let's see here. Let's jump back in. That first game went incredibly well. I don't know if that was just like a weird fluke of a game and we just like happened to line up everything perfect or not, but I feel like it went really well. I also, in hindsight, I don't know if Golden Skywarden was the best choice there for a sideboard slot. I'm thinking maybe Fate Foreseen probably would have been a little bit better, but we'll see. I'm not 100% sure. But I figured I wanted to come on and do like at least a few games trying out this new list. Can't hit her, she's a bystander. Yeah. Alright, Marionette. So I know I have a setup for this already, which it should have brought in these guys, and then it should have brought in the D-Reacts. Okay. And then they can fatigue me. Oh, never mind. Guess we aren't playing Arachne. We're going to play Betsy. I'll go first into Betsy. Let's treat it like Victor almost, but I think that they're probably going to play towards trying to fatigue me. They can block really well, so I probably want the Loan Sharks, and we'll probably go here. Okay, really good opener, but on a turn that I don't really need it. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to pitch into Pistol, then just send the Zeppelin. Actually, hold on. I think I want a cog open. Because if they block only 6 here, they're blocking exactly 7. Man, Test of Vigor is rough. Do I just pummel anyways then? So we both lose the clash, and then we both lose the clash again. So I think I'm actually just going to pummel for the damage. I will, and I will crank. Let's keep an action point here and get an arsenal card. Wow, that's actually like a crazy good card to have here. Do I'm okay. I'm actually going to play this. I'm not going to crank, and then we'll put 2 steam counters here. So we'll go into turn 2 with 3 cogs already. Which one's this? First one gets -2. I could go like block 5. Block 5, still send Zeppelin. I think block 5 we're passing on Soup Up. So one thing I've noticed with having pistol instead of the other weapon into matchups that block more effectively like this, like when they block with Civic Steps, it feels really good because you just get a free go again off of your pistol. But also, like, this is a scenario where, like, I'm obviously I'm floating 1 here, right? But had I gone into this turn with no other way of spending the resource, it just feels better to be able to put this up to 1 here. Man, they're blocking 8 on this. Pistol will be gone soon. It's possible it'll be gone soon. So, funny how these gauntlets work. It is a defend trigger, and I can respond to it. We are going to tap. I don't think we want to crank here, because we don't really have another effective way of, like, continuing our turn, really. Weakest Link is really odd. I don't really have a good way of converting the Conqueror, but we still have, like, a pretty solid turn where, like, I can Loan Shark, Soup Up. Like, I can play this whole hand. So I think we just take 6. Just have to win an event. I mean, yeah, it'll have to win an event, but the likelihood of it winning an event, I would say, is probably decently high. Let's Loan Shark. I'm going to wait on this because we don't really need to use Poly just yet, but we'll send a 0 for 4. Also, if you're here and you're new, whether or not you're on YouTube or if you're on Twitch, please give me a follow or subscribe. I put out content related to Flesh and Blood. I try and stream at least twice a week. We just hang out here, we play games, we talk about new stuff, and I try and kind of help people figure out, you know, some of the newer decks in the meta. And this is like my main focus right now, is trying to get good on Puffin. We'll see how well it continues to perform, but hopefully it'll do well. Also, I really like us forcing the equipment block here. Feels pretty solid. They're really trying to defend this Arsenal slot, which we're playing pretty well around some awkwardness here, so they're wagering. When this attacks, you can wager, the winner draws, the other hero discards. Well, they have nothing in hand. Just here to trash talk. I mean, you could trash talk. I think that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just gonna tell them that I'm thinking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could draw a card, and then we go into the next turn with like a potential for Conqueror. Or I can go 3 to keep the blue. Yeah, 3, 2. And then that'll get pumped up to 4. I block a unicycle. So I do this. Galvanize trigger happens. I eat the cog. We draw a card. That's a pretty solid one. I mean, I appreciate the support regardless. I actually think this is our turn to poly, because I really want a blue here. Okay. Do we try and cycle into a blue still? Yo, Trent. Testing's going pretty decent. We're trying out some stuff right now. I'm not sure. So this is the... Man, that's a rough hand. We're testing out right now the list that was posted on the main, like, Flesh and Blood, let's do a pitch like this, that was posted on the main Flesh and Blood, like, webpage. And, man, they're really testing me. Let's see. So they won, and then they won. Yep. Okay. That's pretty fine, though. I'm not going to discard. We're going to pitch red, blue, and then yellow. Put this in Arsenal. We'll see if they just target here. This is a terrible hand. What is this? Nice attack gains. When this attacks, wager a Might Vigor token with them. Go again. I mean, this is like some of the freest blocks I think I've ever had, right? I just go like here, here. Oh, wait, hold on. Thinking. Is this dominated? Oh, it's overpowered. Okay. So that does make it harder. So I'm not protecting that. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not able to fully block it, which means that I could still keep my hand and go soup up CNC. Yeah, I think that's fine. It's also important to note that, like, right now, Plasma Pistol and the Spitfire would be the exact same. Not killing the bird is a mistake. I mean, they didn't have Go Again, right? And CNC is an on-hit hero. We'll see how bad they want to protect this. Like, I think this turn it's very likely that my poly dies. This is a very bad hand. Really? Do I Tinker Rings this turn? Just send weapon. Yeah. This is active on hit, just clash. Yeah. It's like keeping the blue soup up isn't that relevant, but I do kind of want to save some life here. Okay. Like, I'll Tunic into Dovetail here. This is just sending 5. I mean, right now the bird's not doing anything. That's the tough part, is that I don't have the means to really do much with it right now. And I'm hitting hands that don't have cog generation. So like, here's finally getting a cog generation hand. And this is me losing go again. So I definitely want to block here. I can block 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is potentially Pummel. If it's Pummel, this feels bad. It's 4 or more, right? Yeah, it's Crush. Yeah, I think we just block 8 and we bet on them not having Pummel. Okay. Alright. Now we start using the bird. Yo, Russian, how's it going? Do I play Cogworks Workshop over this? So I'd float 2. I would still draw a card. It keeps my extra one around for longer. Block 6 and call their bluff. I don't know if I'm that bold. CNC's pretty good. Did I have an item get destroyed at the beginning of this turn? No. So we're just sending CNC. Please let me win a clash. Man. I'm seeing my cog generation, it's just that it's always on top of my deck. And this is a hand that doesn't block super well. Do they kill Polly here finally? Oh, this is just at me. I just keep this hand, right? This hand's pretty good. So the awkward side is Soup Up is still not live. Actually, it would be live if I use the backup protocol. I think we just say yes. Copper Cog gets destroyed. Life is a resource. I mean, yeah, it definitely is. Man, do I want to cog in the machine? I probably do. Yeah, I do. Do I want to double crank? I don't think so. I don't think so. I'll put 1 under, because we still have 3. Then we'll do this. I will crank this. Yeah, they're making it pretty apparent that they don't care about Polly. That's a pretty good one. So what we can do here is we can grab one of the Soup Ups if we really want to, and just kind of push some extra damage. Because this is 2. I would still have 3 left over. And yeah, I will crank it, and then we'll use it I think just grabbing Soup up here to push some extra damage. Or actually, hold on. No, let's go back. I forgot that I had Dovetails here. Dovetail's actually probably just stronger. Because now this comes in for 2. And we'll see. I'm sure they're going to save their blocks. But now we're going into Palantir potentially pretty powerfully. So only blocking 6. Which we want to block. We want them to block 6, ideally. If they commit a full extra D-react to, like, preventing me from... Okay. So we're just going to give it go again. We'll tap and give it go again just right away. We'll see what this Clash of Vigor gets. Man, I have another cog on top. Okay. And then now, because we can destroy anything that's blocking, we could potentially destroy their little temper shield, which is getting to be pretty annoying. Okay, let's tap 2, and then we'll unicycle for the 3rd. Do I destroy the Bastion? I think that's probably the best thing for me to destroy. No idea why Puffin didn't perform well. See, I'm also kind of curious why she didn't perform well, but it also might be because of hands like this. I do have a yellow. So we'll flip over my Jolly Bludger, and then we'll flip over my Loan Shark. Alright. Can we Gamba our way out of this mess? I better be glad she didn't perform well. Yeah, I'm pretty happy that she didn't perform super great. But oh man, we need better cards than that. Man, we need a lot better cards than that. What's going on? Let's crank here. Yep, we'll play this. Crank, put counters here, draw another card. We're just... Man. I think we just have to keep digging. That's terrible. So, like, we're literally just sending gun for 2. Yeah, we're eating a sink below. So, like, that feels kind of good. Close the combat chain. Close the combat chain. Load this. And then we'll just shoot them again. Nobody was ready for Gravy. Yeah, I really don't think anybody was ready for Gravy at Nats. I think that people will be a lot more prepared for him, like, coming up into another sink. We'll go here. Put this in Arsenal. I'm like, you should have just been killing the poly from the get-go. So we likely... It's a pretty awkward hand here. So we'll crank this. We will play this. We're going to crank, then not crank. We'll put it on bottom. This is why I dislike these, like, super heavy cog decks. Like, we're through 1, 2, 3, 4 of them right now. What happens? That's what happens when you have a set release in Nats. Yeah. Yeah, definitely awkward. Tap, we won't crank. And this is just going to cost 3 anyways. We'll put this in Arsenal, which, like, they know about it because we revealed it from a clash, but now because Gravy did well, people ain't rich can't build him. Dude, I'm shocked at, like, how out of nowhere he's just, like, crazy expensive. This is a hand. She had a gold. Maybe I didn't see it. So it's 10 overpower wager. Okay. So if I keep my hand... Man, it's potentially Pummel here as well. If it's just Pummel, I'm just dead. So I think I have to give them Tunic, right? Yeah, because if it's +4 and I block 3, that'd be 7. Yeah, it would be Pummel would be death. Okay. Now we need to decide we're going to go into the next turn with 1 cog. And they don't have an arsenal. I think we actually get rid of the CNC here. Right? Because they get a gold, right? So now what we're able to do... So we're not going to be able to effectively use all of our resources. So let's go here, pitch this, then Jolly Bludger. We'll give it overpower and we'll steal their gold. Wow. Well, that's just sometimes how it be. They're probably just gonna good time me to death here. I'm only at 1. So, yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good one here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See, what's crazy is I can still block with all these cards, but I still lose anyways. Yeah. It's alright. One and 1, and I'm realizing in real time that I continue to forget to do predictions. So we're going to do a prediction on this game right now. Win or loss, starting it right now. Playing a Puffin mirror. I'll go first. In the mirror, I want my bludgers. I don't want these. And I want my Sky Wardens. Are you crazy or drafting this set addicting? I mean, it looks pretty good. Like, I'm not entirely opposed to it. I'll put it that way. Man, this is a weird, weird opener. Let's start off with a cog here. We'll pitch this. I know this is technically like the worst pitch, but I don't want to show them that I have Pummel yet. No way they galvanize. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna undo. I need them to... We need to move through their galvanize trigger. And then now is when I pump. We go +1 power. So this will untap. Do I want to tap to give go again? Is there actually like a point to it? No. See, if I had kept the other card in my hand, it would have been better to play it out. Still need to figure out how to draft Gravy properly. I feel like from what I've been hearing from pros, that Puffin is like the hardest one to build. From a draft standpoint. He did give it overpower, but I don't even know that I want to block. I don't think I even want to block here. Because I know they're gonna steal my cog regardless of how I block. Because I could go to 7 here, right? I could block 7, but then I just lose my turn. Oh, and he's playing Pummels as well. Okay, so we're possibly on the same list. So Bludger's gonna steal my thing. Or he's gonna make me discard first. Pretty annoying, but not the worst thing in the world. We are just gonna throw... See, it sucks because I really wanted to block with Skyward in that last turn. I just couldn't. Yeah, Marlin is very, very good for draft. I mean, I played her in Sealed, and I thought that she was very, very powerful. You just have like a really, really inevitable late game with her that tends to feel really strong. I'm going to hit my opponent back with the the on-hit discard. Did like 12, 11, 10, yeah. That's pretty good. Copper Cog. Which means they're probably already on a hand that, like, does the thing. God. Sometimes... Oh, okay. They are on this... They're on the list that's from the webpage. I took out Steel Street Hoons. I don't think that card's very good. I have Infused Titanium in instead. It's functionally the same card, except for this one's always 5 damage. Had a Gravy player rage quit. Yeah. That's kind of fair. This is 8 go again. Do I want a cog here? Do I want a cog here? Actually doesn't feel too terrible, because then I can go into the next turn and start on Cogworks, and maybe I just throw out Poly and we just try and play out a turn, because I'm pretty far behind, and then we're at least rolling into the following turn with 2 cogs, or maybe I draw something that's a little bit better. Everyone's dream. Yeah, Scurvy is definitely... He's pretty good. We're just taking as much as we can here. This is pretty unfortunate that we're kind of like backed into a corner on our play pattern here, but I don't think we have too much of an option, unfortunately. Them starting off by stealing our cog was like... I mean, the fact that it was Jolly Bludger specifically is just so powerful. I think we're just going to have to start on Poly. And then we're going to pitch the soup up. I do. Let's give me a good card, please. I mean, that's certainly a card that I can play right now, actually. It does the thing that I wanted it to do. Like, it gave me an extra piece here. I'm curious to see if they even care to block. Maybe they're just trying to set up a... Maybe they're trying to set up a, whatchamacallit, a Palantir. Do I have a yellow? They have 2 yellows. And this is why this card is just better than Steel Street Hoons, by the way. I did not have an item get destroyed this turn, so this is just better. Just like, actually just better. The bird is bad luck. I mean, it might be. We'll have to see. Send another 4 over. Take a card away from them. Hopefully we push them into this turn kind of a little bit awkward. What do I think of Shaker's list? Jacob Shakers? I think it's fine. I think fundamentally I disagree with a couple of the decisions that they were making, like especially when it came to the decision making in their game against Majin. I think it was just the second place Nats guy. I think that they just played it poorly. I like testing the new heroes out, but I laugh every time someone's just making a Pummel deck. Okay, I originally did not want to put Pummel in this deck, and then they put it up on the website. They put it up on the Fab website with Pummels, and I'm like, fine, I'll do the thing, but like, you gotta give me a really good reason as to why I'm doing the thing. And so far, there hasn't been that good of a reason for me to do the thing. You disagree with all the Fableds? You mean in the gravy list? Man, he's not throwing Palantir here. Unfortunately, I just can't really block this effectively right now. I really want to dig into an extra action point here, ideally. I have a feeling that's probably what he's doing. Just to clear my poly. Yeah, that makes sense. I think a lot of people are, like, weirdly high on the Fableds. I'm not really a huge fan, personally. Okay, we will crank. Let's put some guys. Let's draw a relevant card, please. It's not a relevant card. I don't even have a way of converting it now. This card's just like actually an intellect penalty. This is why I'm not a fan of these block cards. I think this card's terrible here. Like this is probably the worst card I could have possibly drawn. I think fundamentally I disagree with playing this card. I think that this card's just so bad. I'm mostly trying to take this list unchanged. Is there a world where you play Blunderbuss? Probably. Every time I've played Spitfire, it's felt like shit, if I'm being honest. But it is really good into Gravy. So, like, two sides to it, right? It's very good into Gravy. They're just not defending. And then we get to do my favorite thing in the world. We get to skip my arsenal step. Yeah, they are like 1000% for sure that they're playing the list from the front page. I mean, this hand's just not playable. Like, I've got a Cogworks that I can work off of, and my Tunic, but, like, these Conquerors aren't doing anything. You thought it was a Gravy card? Yeah. I mean, like, the thing with that is, like, you run into this awkward space of, like, yeah, I just don't know. I hate this card. I think it's so bad. Like, I can get a gold here, right? But, like, what am I doing with it? Nothing. They still have 2 resources, so, like, I'm just not incentivized to block this at all. What sucks is, like, I'm pretty low on... Okay, so this is... Like, they can pump to 5, but they don't have an extra cog. So this is probably the turn where I can throw my Sunken Treasure, or probably the point where I can use my Sunken Treasure the most effectively. So the issue with Spitfire is more specifically that, like, Spitfire just, like, does not the thing that you want it to. Yeah, you can leak a damage, it's fine. Okay. Going kind of aggressive here. I guess they're trying to just rotate a cog into the next turn. Oh. Okay, no, they're playing very aggressive. Because, like, I'm clearing their poly on this next turn. Like, 1000% I'm clearing their poly on this next turn. It's just a matter of, like, how we get there. But, like, the Spitfires just felt terrible this whole game. Yellow card face down, which is your allies, so, like, unless you're running Sea Legs, Sunken Treasure. Yeah, like, I mean, you're also just, like, gambling on whether or not your opponent's gonna have the yellow cards for you to also flip over, which, like, some matchups it does, right? But, I need them to move past their Galvanize. So I can pump to 7 here and leave my last cog up. Because regardless it untaps, but I don't have a way of converting the rest of it. Okay. So now is when we tap for the go again. Then we get the triple on tap. And then now we Spitfire the poly. No, it's fine. You like Sea Legs and Gravy? I'm not sure how I feel about that card. I was watching Scowling earlier play, and he was playing Sea Legs and, like, all the different brutes, and I liked how it looked there. I'm not sure if I like it outside of that setting though. Okay, so we know this isn't CNC Pummel, but Jolly Bludger is looking pretty nice if I did have a cog. I do have a cog going to the next turn. So I actually, maybe I just keep Conqueror. Maybe I just, like, push some cards in front. You like dual purpose cards? Yeah. I think my most effective block here is this, and then we'll Galvanize just one of the cogs. Bless you. I can discard it and attack. Yeah. I also, so a big thing here is I have this gold, right? I'm actually going to overpitch into this just because I'm going to be able to play the Conqueror regardless, right? But this sets me up for an arsenal. And I like just sending 8 here. I've been thinking with these lists, one thing that I've noticed a lot of is that it's pretty often that my Puffin doesn't get tapped. I mean, it does every once in a while, right? But not super often. And so I'm kind of half thinking that, like, maybe there's room for Tip the Barkeep. You meant Sea Legs? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fair. It's got like a good purpose to be in it, in a list. Has there been a Puffin? I'm not sure I understand what you're asking, Mitch. Was there a Puffin and Nats? Yeah, there was some Puffins and Nats. I don't know that there were any that like did good, but there were Puffins at Nats. Yeah, and it was not this version of Puffin. It was the version of Puffin that does the that's like the boost Puffin. Why are we converting a third cog here? Are we going for Palantir? Okay. Okay. So this is 9, which if I block here, so I have to give him a couple more things here. So I kind of want to keep my cog of the machine. Can maybe go here. I have to block with 2 cards, probably. Because if they destroy the 3... Yeah, I can't choose Crown because it doesn't have a defense value. So if I go there, I should be in the clear, because they can pump 3 times, blow up the battalion, set me to 1. Yep. And then now we're full on gambling here on what this potentially gives me. I'm going to put it under. Okay. Actually not the worst thing in the world. Actually not the worst thing in the world. That I'm pretty okay with arsenaling that here. Look at footsteps has 0 block value till you pay. Yeah, exactly. So he's just converting all of his cogs. Seems reasonable. We'll send a wimpy little 2. How many copper cogs do I have left in my deck? Probably at least 3 or 4. There's one thing that I dislike about this deck is I'm going to draw into... My next hand is going to be probably at least 1 no block. Yep. And like the rest of my hand just doesn't do enough. See what they draw into, because they could just be dead on cards and not really able to convert super well. The Pinion Sentry at least converts into a cog for the next turn. Oh, well, Palantir just kills me, right? Oh no, it doesn't. But it just means that my next turn is do nothing. Maybe a whiff, yeah. I mean, they also just like don't have to pump this at all. Not that they really need to convert their golden cogs or like tap them at all, but like my turn just looks terrible. I don't want this in my hand, so it's literally just crank send 3. Prism's OP. Dude, Prism is pretty strong. I like her positioning in this meta. I think she's really, really good right now. I actually drew a hand that blocks. He's through all his Palantirs, right? He's got one left. This is why you don't play this card. I mean, this is still 7. All right, let's see. We're going to get our unicycle use out finally. I just can't help but feel like I'm gonna get pummeled, and that's just gonna be the end of it. If I destroy this, does the trigger still happen? Yes. Oh no, my chat died. Oh goodness. Hold on. Gonna be right back. What just happened? What is this? Okay, well, everything's being funky for me right now. Sorry about that, guys. There it goes. Okay, we're back. We're back on one channel at least. I think YouTube is still dead, but we'll get through it. This game ended up being a slight bit closer than I expected it to be, but still not the greatest. Seems like maybe their hand is not converting. Taking a while to think about this one. Oh. Overpower is pretty good, but I die because of the thrice per turn. Man, that stinks. Yep. make a gold and then die. Because I don't have a way of converting. Yeah. Yeah, he drew into an awkward hand at the end there, but I like my... I need to see here. So, like, I had a really low value first couple turns here. This turn was pretty low value. And then on their turns, like, they were throwing 10 plus almost every turn. Except for this turn right here, their turn 5. My turn 5 was 14 points. And then, like, the last 2 turns, they had low value, but I had high value. I don't know. I think here. Let's get out of this. We're gonna look. So we went 1 and 2. Let me fix the prediction outcome. Yo, whoever did vote lose, congrats, you got your points. Let me get to this one. So this was the list we were just playing. And I have some gripes. So this is nearly the exact list with this changed and with this changed. So I'll pull it up. How about that? So this 0 to 80 Puffin list got posted on the main Flesh and Blood homepage, and this is what I'm basing this list off of. So they were running Adaptive Dissolver, Tinker Rings, Crown of Dominion, Providence, Spring Tunic, Poly, Spitfire, Unicycle, and Visiertronic. So I think most of this is correct, and I'm running very similar things here. I think Pistol just does so much for you in the matchups where, like, you're not able to get cogs as often. So I think having Pistol as like a backup plan, it needs to be in the deck. I'm pretty confident this needs to be in the deck. I think there's maybe even a world where, like, if Dash LLs, that this becomes Blunderbuss. But I think Pistol needs to be in the sideboard in some capacity. Has anyone tried Blunderbuss instead of Spitfire? I mean, I don't think so, but it just depends on how well you can convert your hands, right? So, like, if you're double pitching blue pretty often, then it feels pretty good. But if you're not double pitching blue, then you're not really able to swing Blunderbuss, right? Here it is. So, like, if you're not able to swing the Blunderbuss, like, consistently, then it's still not that great, right? I guess it also depends on how you're converting your cogs in that matchup as well. So the things that really intrigue me, and the stuff that I like and that I don't like, I'll go through that really quick. So this list is basically 1-to-1 with that list minus that one sideboard change. So, like, you can see here, it's 2 backup protocol reds, 3 cog of the machine, 3 dovetail. They have 9 zeppelins, 3 CNC, 3 conqueror, 3 fates, and they mentioned why they specifically use fate in this matchup or in this deck, and I think it's pretty clever, and I don't disagree with it. So I think fate is actually, like, a really, really good choice here, and I might be swapping over to that for my main list as well. I liked the red pummels. The blue pummels didn't come up. So I think that maybe there's a world where you play red pummel, but you don't play blue pummel. You just convert that into, like, a different blue. I like red soup ups. The yellows, I don't mind yellow Zeppelin. I like Skywarden. Bludger from the side is really cool. And then they're running 2 Lone Shark and 1 Riches. This realistically could just be 3 Lone Shark. That's probably what I'm going to play unless we, like, go crazy and we open another pack and there's a riches in it, which if there's a double fabled in that case, that's going to be fucking insane. But I think the premise of having access to Loan Shark and Golden Skywarden and using them in like different matchups is really smart. He mentions in this article where basically if he's going into decks that he's less consistently making golden cogs into, so that's like decks that are going to block out your Skywarden, your Zeppelins a lot more. Then Loan Shark becomes just more powerful in those kind of matchups, where if your opponents aren't blocking as often, Skywarden is a lot more powerful. And so having that like sideboard choice seems really good. I think that starting with your Skywardens or your Loan Sharks just in the sideboard already, and you kind of bring them in as you kind of assess what does this matchup actually look like. Is it a Skywarden or is it a Loan Shark match? I think that's pretty clever. I like the Battalion Barks. I haven't gotten an opportunity to actually ever use one for its ability, but if you like swing into a turn where you're like, I'm on Battalion Bark, 2 other blues, and like a Pummel, you're set for life. That's such a good hand, right? So I can definitely see a world where like having access to Battalion Bark in blue is a really good option. And I think the previous list, I'm going to look at my other Puffin list really quick. The other Puffin list that I was playing for the blues that I'm not playing here, we were mostly just on less of the copper cogs. And so I think that because I wasn't enjoying some of the blues that I was working with, I think there's definitely an opportunity for us to kind of swap over and maybe use Battalion Bark as like a legitimate option. Mitch, I don't remember if I replied back to you on are all the Sea Champs blue heavy. They are all blue heavy. It's like figuring out what to do with those blues and how many you want in each deck, I think is like really where people are trying to still sort things out. So like a good example here is like they're on, I can quick count here. So here's 9, 15, 18, 20, 24, 27. So he's on 30 blues. 30 blues in the main board. Where's Tip the Barkeep? It's Majestic. So I, of note, don't see Tip the Barkeep. And I actually think Tip the Barkeep might be really good in this list. On hands where you maybe can't create a cog, but you have Puffin ability up, and you're like, you know what, I didn't draw Pummel, but I do have resources to throw like a 2 for 6 into a 2 for 6. I could see Tip being like extremely powerful there. I personally hate this number of copper cogs. I don't like running more than 4 or 5, so I'll probably say cutting these down just a smidge would be the correct play here. I hate the blocking cards. Pinion Sentry and Sunken Treasure, like, together in the same deck, just feel bad. It feels bad. You don't want this many of these in here. Steel Street Hoons, we saw in the last match, is just worse infused titanium, especially in a list where you run pirate cards. So you probably don't want to be playing this, especially not at 3 of. I could see you running 3 soup ups and then running 2 of this if you really wanted to keep these numbers like somehow even at like, you know, you have a few 2 ofs here. But I definitely think this comes down. I can do a quick, for me personally, what I would change to this list. Kind of quick look. I would take these cogs out. Take it down to 4. I think it's too much. Too many cogs. You don't need that many cogs. Take out Sunken Treasure, because this card's garbage. You want a 3rd soup up real bad. So we'll just toss soup up to 3, and we'll toss Pinion Sentry up to 3. The card's very powerful, does everything we want in blue, and is kind of sitting in a nice spot where, like, it's doing most of the things that we want to for a block. And then Soup Up is just, it's just powerful. It's really, really good. I personally don't like Riches, and I think that having a third Loan Shark actually coming in from the sideboard is pretty good. So I would probably swap this over to just be the 3 Loan Sharks. I think that that's like a really, really good plan to have in your sideboard. Let's see here. I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of the blue Pummels, if I'm being honest, but we also just cut 3 blues out of the list from the changes that I just made. Notice we're down to 77 here. So in order to get us back up to that same blue count, I would really, really be looking at like what effective blue 3 blocks do we have access to, or effective just blue cards in general, right? So if we wanted to keep the Pummels in, I could reasonably see us taking Tip and tossing like a couple Tips in. I think that Tip is probably pretty good, but we don't want it like en masse. So taking us up to 79 cards, I think I would probably go there. Bring in some Tips. It helps us convert some of these hands that are a little bit weaker. I also don't like this Murderous Rabble in the deck. I think it's kind of weird. I could see this maybe coming down 1 piece, and then that gives us 2 extra cards to work with. If we still want them to be blues, I could see us reasonably going for Seafloor Salvage. It's a little bit more of a like proactive play than reactive when it comes to Sunken Treasure. I think Seafloor Salvage also just like does a lot of the stuff that you want it to do, where like it's essentially, it's Sunken Treasure, right? It's still Sunken Treasure. It's just that you're using it in a slightly different way. This card's just arsenalable, and you draw a lot of cards in this deck, and you don't want to run into a turn where you're like, oh my gosh, my hand didn't convert because, you know, I wasn't able to arsenal my card because it's a block. And that's where I think this card probably comes in and is just like slightly better. So I think if I was to swap some stuff around, I think I'd be swapping to a bunch of 2-ofs here. Keeps us at 57. I still think we need to find some spots in the sideboard to try and kind of clean up some of the equipment that you want to bring in into certain matchups. It's possible that maybe Jolly Bludger is like something that you want to cut down on, but I think with the way that the meta looks right now, I think that Jolly Bludger is really, really solid, as long as there's more like pirates and stuff that are existing. Got the card next to Seafloor Salvage. This one, the blue Pummels. It's possible this card shouldn't be here, and that I should be on like 29 blues, and I just like up a Tip the Barkeep, or I up a Murderous Rabble, and then I'm able to throw in, you know, something at red or something at yellow, and kind of up some consistency in other places. If I was really going that direction, I think what I would do, and this is going to be the crazy thing, and I realize that, but if I was really going to cut myself down to 28 blues, I think I'm going to bring in this card. I think E-Strike does a lot of stuff, and we're in a deck that's drawing a lot of cards, and you have a lot of situations where you're like running into a spot where you're like, man, I don't have a way of converting my hand. Like, E-Strike just converts your first card really effectively. You know, you're gonna get it for go again, more typically. And if you're playing Tip, this card gets a lot better. So you have that like little bit of a way of kind of converting your Tips a little bit easier. It's possible that if you are on this, you want to be on a third Tip, though. So I could see myself maybe swapping this Rabble around, and then it would just end up looking pretty similar to like something that I'm already playing, but it's got a little bit of fanciness to it. It's got some Pummels in it, but I think that's probably where I would go with it. And yeah, oh, we're at 81 cards. Yeah, I think what I would do is I would just go here, and I would up the Tip the Barkeep to 3 if I wanted to bring in E-Strike. I think that's probably You thought Snag was next to it? No. I had Snag down here next to it. This is the maybes. I use this as like a tentative. If I want to put some cards in, I kind of toss them down here. I do think we maybe need to clean up this sideboard a little bit, but I think overall, I think this looks a lot more in line with like what I would be wanting to play. Whether or not it's good, I don't know. We'll have to find out. But anyways, I gotta get ready, run over to the gym with Lauren. Does anybody, I don't know if anybody has any redeems. Don't think there were any other redeems today. But if you're here and you're watching and you're new, please, if you're on Twitch, drop a follow. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button down below. I make content all about Flesh and Blood, and so if you're here and you're hanging out, I would really, really appreciate the support. I will be streaming again on Friday, probably around the same time, maybe a smidge earlier. We'll go into testing a little bit more of these Puffin lists and kind of see maybe if there's any other innovation that kind of pops up throughout this week. I've been trying to keep a very, very close eye on the Purple Discord to kind of see what people are thinking and what direction we might head in for kind of the upcoming meta, see if there's anything that maybe shifts around or needs to be changed as the list gets tested more. So outside of that, thanks for joining in. I appreciate you guys being here, and I appreciate everybody hanging out. If you'd like, I have a Discord community where we chit-chat. It's a very, very small Discord. I'm going to drop the link in the Twitch chat right now. And it is also in the description of the YouTube video. If you want to join in and you want to hang out and you want to chat with like-minded players, we're a very, very small community. We talk about random stuff in there sometimes. It's a good vibe. Come in, hang out, and we'll have a good time talking Flesh and Blood or just having general fun talking to each other. But yeah, I will see you guys on Friday. Yeah. Peace. Thanks for coming to hang out.